I'm going to tell you everything you need to know before buying the Anvil Arrow, and we're starting right now.
Anvil Aerospace, all systems online.
Welcome to A Star Citizen's Buyer's Guide. What's up, citizens? This is SubliminaL here, and today we'll be discussing the features, functions, and benefits of the Anvil Arrow. And we'll compare those features amongst competing ships so you can make an informed buying decision. In this review, I'll cover a brief overview, take a look at the exterior and interior, compare stats, go over its default and recommended weapons and components, review pros and cons, and finish up with my thoughts on the Anvil Arrow. If this is our first time meeting, welcome. My name is SubliminaL and my passions are Star Citizen and content creation. Be sure to check out some of my other reviews in this series and consider subscribing. Now let's get to it. The Anvil Arrow is an agile light fighter that is prized for its velocity and dexterity. The Arrow boasts advanced thruster tech, a generous weapons package, and an ultra-aerodynamic frame to outmaneuver and outwit its components. A dedicated single-seat interceptor, it was built for speed and maneuverability in dogfighting, intending to directly counter the Vandal Blade light fighter, which had begun to effectively combat the heavier Hornet and Sabre space superiority ships. The Arrow was introduced as a civilian model in 2949 by Anvil Aerospace, a Terra-based human spacecraft manufacturing corporation founded in 2772 that produces both military and civilian crafts. Providing ships for the military and regular citizens, Anvil Aerospace has made some of the best dogfighting ships in the Star Citizen universe. The Arrow is currently flight ready. As of today, it is for sale and upgrade on the Pledge store for $75. And it is also available in the Anvil Arrow Starter Pack game package for $90. I was able to find it for as low as $70 on the gray market, although you should shop at your own risk. It is available to purchase at Area 18's Astro Armada for under 1 million Alpha UEC. It is also available for rent at Area 18's Traveler Rentals at the prices shown on the screen. With that out of the way, let's take a look at the Anvil Arrow. Let's take a look at the exterior. On the nose, we have some sort of scanner. If you know what this is, please let me know down in the comments. Next, you'll see the wings can actually fold up so it can take up less room on, say, a carrier. Up top, you'll notice the proprietary turret with 2 size 1 laser repeaters. Under the wings, we have a size 2 ballistic repeater, and under the wing tips, we have 3 size 2 missiles. Around the back, you'll notice a large rear main thruster that helps it achieve its high rate of acceleration. Its starboard side is identical to the port side. Let's climb inside. In my opinion, this is one of the best cockpit layouts. It includes 4 MFDs and a radar as usual. It also has 2 indicator panels. I'm not sure what to call them, but they display pertinent info like your engines or thrusters are overheating, amongst other helpful things. The Arrow does not yet have the building blocks HUD seen in the Gladius and some other newer ships. However, the Arrow does have an ejection feature. For comparison, I've selected the following 10 ships. The Google Sheet document with the data is linked in the description. If this is your first time here, you may want to check the sheet or pause the screen. It explains how I've selected and compared the ships. The Arrow weighs in at 31,000 kilograms and comes in 2nd place. It's 16 meters in length, takes 3rd place. It has 0 SCU and ties with 5 other ships on this list. Has a max crew size of 1, but only 2 ships in this list have more. Its quantum fuel capacity of 583 is tied with every ship on this list except the Banu Defender. Its SCM speed of 200 meters per second takes 6th place. And its max speed of 1235 ties in 4th place with the 325A. Now where the Arrow really beats the competition is with its maximum yaw pitch rate of 75 degrees per second. It's one of the most agile fighters in Star Citizen. Its total HP of almost 4200 takes 9th place. And its default pilot DPS of over 1000 takes 7th place. No ships on this list have turrets, and its missile payload of almost 2300 takes 6th place. Now let's talk about its firepower. The Arrow has 2 size 3 hardpoints on the wings. and one proprietary arrow turret with 2 size 1 hardpoints on top. This turret can be removed for a size 3 gimbal or a size 3 fixed weapon. The wings have a pair of size 3 Verapuck gimbal mounts with one Scorpion GT215 each. One GT215 is size 2, does 21 damage, times 1000 RPM for a total of 318 DPS and a 2100 meter range. With ballistics, ammo should be taken into account. It has 8,000 rounds that would deplete in 533 seconds of continuous fire. The Anvil Arrow turret holds 2 CF117 Bulldog laser repeaters. One Bulldog is size 1, does 36 damage, times 325 RPM for a total of 196 DPS and a 1300 meter range. For missiles, it has 2 MSD 322 missile racks with 2 Ignite 2s each. Ignite 2s are size 2, are infrared, do almost 3,700 damage, have a 1.51 second lock time, and a 5,700 meter lock range. It also has 2 MSD 212 missile racks with 1 Dominator 2 each. Dominator 2s are size 2, are electromagnetic, do almost 3,900 damage, have a 1.7 second lock time, and a 6,200 meter lock range. This is a total of 6 missiles. I personally like to swap out the missiles for Strike Force 2s because as of right now, cross-section missiles don't have any countermeasures. I would also recommend swapping out all the hardpoints for gimbaled size 2 mass drivers. Another combination I like is leaving the arrow turret and equipping it with 2 NN13 neutron repeaters. These pair well with the mass drivers. Now for the components. The standard power plant on the Arrow is the size 1 grade 3 Regulus with over 2100 max power generation per second and a 14-second power up time. I recommend to always upgrade your power plant to the best power generation. The caveat to this is its high power up time will leave you vulnerable to EMPs, but this is a risk I'm willing to take. So I recommend the Endurance. It will raise your power generation to over 4400 per second. I would recommend the Breton, but it is currently bugged. For coolers, it comes with 2 size 1 grade 3 bracer coolers that provide 260,000 max cooling per second each and a 13-second power up time. My recommendation for the coolers is to use a split combination, the cooler with the fastest cooling rate and the cooler with the shortest power up time. This would be the Zero Rush and Ultra Flow, bringing the cooling rate to 678,000 and the power up time to 3 seconds, taking advantage of both. For shields, it unfortunately has one size 1 grade 3 all-stop shield generator with 5400 capacity that generates 270 hit points per second. Because the Arrow has just one shield generator, the decision is that much more important, so I have chosen the FR66. It has a good health pool and a great regen rate. And last but not least, the QT drive it comes with is the size 1 grade 3 Beacon Quantum drive with a 253 megameter per second quantum speed, a 2.25 second spool up, and a 12-second cool down time. My recommendation for the QT drive is a bit more of a preference. To put it simple, I want the fastest QT drive that can make the trip from Port Olisar to Microtech, so I would pick the Voyage. If you don't have around 157,000 Alpha UEC to spend on all this at once, I would buy them in the following order. The weapons and components that I've recommended are just my opinions. They're not the best for every type of situation. CIG has done a great job of blurring the lines between each individual component. With that being said, I would love to hear your opinions. Please let me and the community know what loadout you've chosen for the Arrow. The DPS calculator over at Urkel.games was exceptionally important in my recommendations for this review. After you watch the rest of this review, check the link in the description. It will take you to this unique loadout that I have just discussed. Here, you can find the prices and the locations of where to find these items in the verse. I would say its pros are, it's quick. This isn't something that can be measured with game data, but it's something that you will definitely feel. Its size, at just 16 meters long and 4 meters high, it is one of the smallest hitboxes in the game. This is the main reason we got the nerf from 2 shield generators to 1. It's also very nimble. With a max shot pitch rate of 75 degrees per second, it is one of the most nimble combat chips in the verse. Its cons are its HP. It has one of the worst HP pulls, second only to that of the Buck amongst fighters. Its default pilot DPS isn't very good, however that can be changed easily. And lastly, a while back someone over at CIG decided to nerf the Arrow by removing one of its shield generators. So with 50% less capacity than most of its competitors, this is a problem. The Anvil Arrow is a ton of fun to fly around and dogfight in. It packs a pretty decent punch and it's beautiful in design. In a vacuum, it is a great ship, but the competition cannot be ignored. The lack of dual shield capabilities removes it from the top spot. This nerf truly cut the nuts off of this ship. I can hear it in the comments now. SubliminaL, the Arrow was pretty OP. It was very hard to hit because of its size and maneuverability. Something needed to be done. Okay, I can agree with that logic, but solely removing the shield generator was not the fix. Don't forget, we have auto gimbals now, so you don't need to have pinpoint aim. So remove the shield, but why not boost the hull HP to something more competitive? After all, Anvil is a military-grade shipbuilder. I can't see why they would release a ship that's this fragile, even if it is this small. The info given to us when it was released was that Anvil built the Arrow to compete with the Gladius. It is in my opinion that it no longer does. It is $20 cheaper than the Gladius, and when you look at it that way, it's not that bad, right? False. You can pick up the 325A for $5 less than the Arrow, and the 325A is actually a competitor to the Gladius. It pains me to say it because I really want to like this ship, but unless they bring the hull HP up to that of the Gladius, it's going to be a hard pass for me. That was my rant, let me hear yours down in the comments. My next video was going to be a ship battle between the Arrow and the Gladius, but after reviewing the Arrow, I'm not sure that this will be good content. I have posted a poll on the community tab of my channel to see what you guys would like to see next. Head over there now to vote before it's too late. If you've enjoyed this review, check out more of my content. If you'd like, there are tons of ways to support the channel. Number 1, you can smash that like button. Number 2, you can share this content with someone who may enjoy it. Number 3, you can subscribe and turn on notifications by clicking the circle here. Number 4, you can become a channel member by clicking the join button below. And number 5, if you're feeling generous, consider becoming a patron. Some perks include access to my Trello board with live updates on the progress of upcoming projects, access to scripts and comparison slides as I create them live, patron ship reviews, and more. If not, just making it to the end of this video is greatly appreciated.